PCS Security Systems video tutorial on how to use Alarm.com's web portal. My name is Josh and I'll be giving you a general overview today. To start off, we will access the website by going onto your most used internet browser, whether that be Google Chrome, Internet Explorer, or Firefox, and going to the search bar or the URL tab at the top of the application. You'll enter in www.alarm.com and hit enter. Once you hit enter, you will be brought to the login page of Alarm.com. From there, you can log in using either your email address or your username and your password. If you do not have a username or email address that's associated to an Alarm.com account, please reach out to PCS Security Systems and we will have one created for you. Once logged into the application, you will be met with the screen that you see here. It is the home screen of Alarm.com. From here, you will be given a general overview of all of the different functionalities that the site has to offer, as well as some quick information for yourself. We'll start out by going through all of the different widgets and showing you how to use them, what they do, and the best recommended usage for them. We'll start off with the top application here, where we're seeing a snippet of the most recently recorded video clips. With Alarm.com, if you have video attached to your account, whenever there is an alarm that happens, you will automatically record a video clip for 3 minutes. These video clips can be found on the home screen here, as well as any manually recorded video clips that you decide to record. From here, you can scroll through the list, select a video, and even hit the play button to play back the video clip. On this screen as well, you have the right-hand side. It'll have the most recent activity, whether you opened or closed the site. You can see here that we opened at 6:18 a.m. today. You can also see the system status. This will say system OK generally, as long as there's nothing going on in the system. If for some reason there's an error, you can hit the arrow to the right-hand side of this icon, and it will tell you anything that's going on your system. If for some reason there is a fault with the system, please let us know and we will have a technician out to service. Below that, you have your scenes. Scenes can be used to do different things at your location. For example, by default there's an open and a closed scene. The open scene you can have automatically, for example, disarm your partition so that your employees can come in, unlock certain doors, turn on lighting, or even set the temperature for your thermostats. Same with the closed as well. You can have it arm the system, lock doors, or again, set your thermostats or lights. There can also be other scenes created. For example, if you have a rush hour at noon, you can have it set up so that certain lights turn on in certain areas of the plant, or certain areas, for example, a garden center is unlocked at 8, 9, 10 o'clock. You can have a scene set up for that as well so that you can click that and it'll automatically unlock certain areas. That's going to be your general overview for this main widget here. On the right-hand side, you have a secondary widget. This widget is for the arming and disarming of your security system. If you have multiple partitions, they will all show up in this tab here with a green, red, or yellow icon. A green icon means that the partition is disarmed, yellow meaning that the partition is armed stay, and red meaning the partition is armed away. You can interact with the partitions by left-clicking on them. From here you can choose to arm it stay or arm away. You can also force bypass. The force bypass is useful if for some reason you have a faulty device on site that for some reason is showing an open door and it won't allow you to arm. What you can do is force bypass. This will bypass that door and arm the system and ignore any events from that door until that zone is fixed. The difference between arm stay and arm away: arm stay will not arm your motion detectors on site. If for some reason this is either a residential installation or it's a commercial installation where you might have somebody staying overnight on the premises, you would want to arm the building with the stay functionality. This will only arm the building's contacts and exterior devices. That way, if you have somebody walking in through the facility, it's not setting off the alarm. Most of the time, however, you will be arming it away. This will arm both your motion sensors and the inside of the house or business, as well as your exterior facing contacts. You can see here by clicking away, the panel will go to the red icon, notifying that the panel has been armed away. From there, you can click it again and disarm it at any time. And the same can be done for the secondary partition as well. If these partition names need to be changed, please send an email to service@pcssecurity.ca and we can have these changed remotely for you. Moving on from that widget, we will go down to the Sensors widget. The Sensors widget is an overview, a quick overview of all of your sensors on site and the current status of them. From here you can see whether door contacts are open or closed, whether a motion is idle or active, and if you have any other types of sensors such as water sensors or fire or smoke sensors, you can see their status here as well. There is no interactivity on this widget, it is just a read-only widget. The next widget to the right of it is the recent activity. From here you can see anything that's happened on site. This includes turning lights on and off, unlocking or locking doors, sensors opening, closing, or activating, so on and so forth. So you can see here open and closing of door contacts, the activation of motion detectors, as well as the unlocked and buzzing of the doors. On the far right hand side here we have the lights widget. This will be useful if you have the light integration added into alarm.com. We can trigger on-site devices such as lights, LED boards, and more, just with a click of a button. There's also dimmers as well, so you can have your dimmer set, for example, to 25%. And this can all be adjusted through automation as well, so you can have it set up so that during certain times, scenes, or even a geofence for when you come home, these lights can be automatically adjusted. Moving on from the lights, you'll see at the bottom here we have two widgets for our thermostats. We have two areas, our main area and our office thermostat. The thermostats can be quickly adjusted here. You can see in the middle the current temperature that the thermostat is reading. And then on the left and right hand side you have your swing for your heat and your cooling. So you can set your heat down below to 20.5, 20, all the way down to 19, and this will automatically adjust the thermostat on site. And it will try to keep it within these ranges. So for example, if you have it set from 19 to 23 degrees, you'll see this eventually update to around 20, 20.5. From here you can also turn on certain functionalities. For example, you can have a scheduled heating or cooling section. If you'd only like the heating or cooling to come on for a certain period of time, you can select this and turn the schedule on. There's also a fan status. You can turn the fan on for X amount of hours. This is helpful when trying to clear out any of the system. If you get any ice buildup or anything like that, you can turn the fan on for a certain amount of time to try and clear out some of that buildup. On top of that, you can also have the sensors as well. You can switch the sensor from one sensor to another to read out different temperatures for your gauge in the middle here. Anything that can be done here can be done on the same office thermostat as well. There's also modes. Right now it's set to auto, however you can set it to only heat or cool, or you can even set the system to be completely off. Last widget on the home screen here is for your access control locks. Right here you can see a green and a red icon for your front and rear entrance. By clicking on it you can lock or unlock the door. So for example, we will lock the door, and eventually you will see this LED or light go to solid red, indicating that the lock is now locked. Moving on from the home screen, we will go to the Video tab. From the Video tab, you will get a live view on your main screen of any cameras that you have on site. It'll only show a maximum of 4 cameras at once, so if for some reason you'd like to see multiple cameras or different cameras, you can uncheck certain cameras, hit apply, and it'll adjust the cameras that you can see in the view here. So for example, if you'd only like to see the kitchen and restaurant counter, you can select just those two, and it will show just those two. If you'd like the virtual 770 camera in your parking lot back, you can hit apply, and there's your camera showing up now. From here, you can, on the bottom of a live view window, the camera icon, you can take a snapshot. That'll take a quick picture of whatever is going on in the scene. You can then choose to save that to a USB or your computer. The icon to the right will be a request recording. After clicking that, a recording will be created and saved to your Save Video Clips icon. You've also got a digital zoom functionality as well, if you'd like, and if the camera supports it, you can have a digital zoom so that you can zoom in on the scene. You can use the plus and minus to zoom in and out, and the up, down, left, and right arrows to scroll through the footage. If you'd like to view the image in full screen, there's also a full screen button on the top right-hand side to expand the image. That's pretty much it for your live view timeline. If you'd like, you can also go to your SVR if you have one on site. This one currently doesn't have it, but if you did have an SVR timeline, it would show you your timeline of events, as well as any activity that happened on site. For example, sensors opening and closing. If you had an alarm on site, it would show up as red in the timeline, so you could scrub back on the SVR recorded footage back to where the event had occurred, and have a better idea of when on the timeline you're looking for. You also have your saved video clips. Anytime an alarm goes off, it'll automatically record a 1 to 3 minute clip for your saved video clips. You can also, as you saw before, request a video clip, and eventually that will show up in the list here. You can enable the clip details to see which camera that they came from and what roughly it triggered. You can see that this one was triggered by a person. There are certain built-in analytics with Alarm.com, person, vehicle, or animal detection. So you can turn the clip details on and off with that. And then you can also hit the play button as well to play. If you'd like as well, you can select multiple clips. And from there you can download, you can rename them, or even protect them from being deleted, or just delete them. On top of that, we also have recording rules. Recording rules are nice to set up certain events for cameras. We can go through and create a recording rule. You can see at the top there's cloud recordings and local recordings. Your local recordings will be setting up recording events to go to your SVR timeline, whereas cloud recordings will be set up to obviously record to the cloud. We hit add new rule here, and you can see the options that we're given. So we can either set it up off of a motion detection. We can set it up so that when an alarm goes off, it records an extended amount of video. You can have it set up so that when the entry delay comes on, so when somebody opens up a door and the system hasn't been disarmed yet, and you have, for example, a 15 or 30-second entry delay before the system goes into alarm, you can have that entry delay also trigger a video recording clip. You can have it record based on whether a sensor was opened or closed, when a system is armed or disarmed, any access control activities, so if somebody swipes their fob at a certain door, and then you can also have a wired input-output. For example, if you have a button on site that when you hit the button you can have record X amount of footage. For now, we'll just set up a video motion detection rule. So we'll left click on video motion detection, and that will take us into the recording rules page. Sometimes it does take a second as the page loads. For some reason it's not loading, you can always do a refresh on the page. And there we go. So here's the recording rule here. We will set up a name for it, video motion detection. You can have it more detailed if you'd like, but you can select which camera you'd like to record video from. We'll record from the kitchen door. If you'd like, you can have it only record during certain times. For example, if you'd only like it to record throughout the night, you can have it set all week to only record from, let's say, 8 p.m. until we'll go 5 a.m. the next day. So now the system will only record video motion detection after 8 o'clock p.m. and before 5 a.m. You can also have it set to not record when the system is disarmed or armed stay. And then you can also add a video clip recipient. So if you have your phone set up with push notifications, or if you have your email or cell number added in, you can actually have a notification sent whenever this records a clip as well. On top of that, from the drop down, you can also either attach a video clip or just a thumbnail of the image. So we'll attach a thumbnail as well. And once you hit save, that rule will be saved, and then anytime video motion detection is triggered from the kitchen door, it will record video from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. and send you a notification with a thumbnail of the image. So as you can see, there's a lot that you can do with cloud and local recordings, just to kind of have a wider range and kind of cast a wide net to allow anyone to have the notifications that they need for when the video is being recorded. Under the settings tab, you'll have just some generic settings, like adding an extra video device or changing quick settings on your cameras. You can also adjust how the video motion detection works on certain cameras as well. So if you'd like, you can go to settings, video motion detection, select your camera, and then adjust the window of where you're recording. That's a general overview of your video tab. For the most part, you've got your saved video clips in the cloud, your local recorded video on your SVR, and then your video motion detection and triggers to allow it to record. From here, we're going to go into your Users tab. Users is a very important piece. It'll be where you add, remove user access to arm, disarm partitions, unlock doors, or even log into the application itself. So if you hit the Users tab on the left-hand side, you can see a current list of any users that are on the system. You can edit them by left-clicking on them. From here, you can add in some contact information or adjust their access to certain panels by clicking on either the panels or the doors. So for example, if I wanted to give them access to the back area, we would just select the panels icon here, hit back area, hit save, and now John Smith's 2145 code will now work on both partitions. Same for doors. If you have some doors with pin code access, you can also enable or disable the doors through this section as well. If you'd like, you can also change their code. If you hit on their code at the top of their name, you can select the number at the top, hit backspace, and enter in your own code. If you'd like, you can also generate a random 4-digit code as well, and hit save, and that will save to the user. You can obviously create a new user as well by going back to the Users tab, hit the Add New User button in the top right-hand corner, enter in their name, hit Create, and then same thing, we can enter in a code or generate one and select their access to the building. As you can see, 1234 is already inputted, so I will generate a code, 7491, hit save, and now Jack Doe now has access. You can also, from the Users tab, manage logins to the website. If you'd like somebody to be able to log in and make the same changes that you're making now, you can go to the Manage Logins tab at the top, hit Add a Login. From there, you can type in their email address, login name, and then hit save. Once that's done, you can select what level of permission you'd like them to have. Master control will give them access to change the primary emails as well as go in and create additional logins to the website. Full control will have access to pretty much everything that you have access to, but they will not be able to manage website logins. Otherwise, there's also a custom permissions tab where you can go in and you can really set up kind of a nitty-gritty permissions based on what you want that specific person to have. The only other two sections we have left are automation and notifications. They're pretty straightforward, but we will start with the automation tab since it's a little bit more fleshed out. Through automation, you can set up certain rules. For example, you can have something capture video after a disarm from away. You can have for fire safety, trigger when a fire is reported to turn the fan and the thermostat off so that you're not blowing fresh air into a building that's in a fire state. Then you've also got an energy saver action, so you can say that when certain doors are left open to set the thermostat to an off mode so that you're not pumping cold air into an area where the doors are open. You can obviously have multiple other rules triggered. If you create a new rule, you can have it set up for an event triggered rule, a video rule, a thermostat rule. If we go to event triggered rule, you can see the different options that were given. Obviously, it will take a little while depending on your internet connection and based on the cloud functionality of Alarm.com's website. Some days I notice are better than others depending on how many people are using the system that day. But to start off, we will create a name for the rule. We'll just name it test rule for now. And you can say, I'd like to automate my lights, my security system, or even my doors. So let's say my doors here. I'd like to have my doors unlock when the system, let's say, is disarmed. So when the back area is disarmed, unlock the rear entrance. One thing I'll recommend is that you can also set up a time frame. If you're looking to only have this work during certain times of the day or certain days, I would recommend that you set it up to only work during certain times. So for example, if I only want this to work Monday through Friday, I don't want somebody coming in and disarming and accidentally unlocking a rear entrance door. I can have it set up only from Monday through Friday, and let's say I only want them doing it from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. within our hours of operation. So now this rule has been created. When the system is disarmed, it'll automatically unlock my rear entrance, but only from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. on weekdays. So that rule is created now. That's kind of a general overview of rules. I'll let you go through and kind of poke around and see what you might want to use rules for. Everyone has a different idea of what they'd like to do. We'll go through schedules as well now. You can have schedules set up so that during certain times of the day, fans on or off, lights on or off, you can see locks on or off. So we'll do a lock-unlock schedule, for example. So we'll go again, test lock, and we'll say both my front and rear door. We want to create a custom schedule, so during the weekdays, if for some reason they don't automatically unlock at 6 a.m. when the system is disarmed, we can say first unlock the system at, let's say, 7 a.m. and then relock it again at 6 p.m. So if for some reason someone doesn't come in at 6 to disarm the building, the doors will automatically unlock at 7 anyways, and then they'll lock again at 6 p.m. So hit save, and that's a general idea of what an automation rule looks like. You can also automate your lights and your video as well. Next option is your scenes. We talked a little bit about this on the home screen. Your scenes you can have set up, open, close. You could have like a rush hour scene, and this basically does a different set of functions that allows you to then automate your lights, access control, everything all at once with one click of a button. I won't go into this because it's very similar to the schedules and the rules that we've looked at prior, but this is a useful functionality if you're looking to do multiple things with one click. You also have your arming schedules. So arming schedules will be automatically arming or disarming the building. So you can say, for example, I'd like to disarm my panel, which is the first partition, at 7 a.m. every day, and then I want it to be armed away every day at 6 p.m. And then you can say the schedule should be active on Monday through Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever you want. So we'll say Monday through Friday, and hit save. And now you can see current schedule is Monday through Friday, disarm the panel at 7 a.m. and arm it away at 6 p.m. And then auto rearming is somewhat slightly different. So basically you can say automatically rearm the system in X amount of mode after a certain amount of time of activity. So for example, if you set up a building where you're not necessarily sure that somebody's going to lock or arm at the end of the day, you could say if no sensors have been active for 2 hours, automatically arm the building in away mode. And then you can say this rearming schedule is active Monday through Friday, and you can say it starts at 6 a.m. or let's say 7 a.m. and it ends at 6 p.m. So now between 7 and 6 p.m. if there's 2 hours of inactivity, it'll automatically be armed away as well. Setting all of these up helps you with your automation tasks. If you're going to automatically disarm the building, it's extremely recommended that you set up rules to automatically rearm, relock, because you can't automatically assume that somebody is going to be there every day to basically set this building back into a locked status. That's the general functionality of the automation tab, so the only thing that's really left is the notifications. These are useful for setting up push notifications, email, or phone text notifications for certain actions. You can have it set up so that if a front door or a certain door was left open, if the panel wasn't armed or disarmed at a certain time, or if there's unexpected activity, Unexpected activity works a little bit weird, so the system will automatically look every week at your activity. So let's say they know you're busy Monday through Friday because it can see your sensor activity status. If for some reason on Wednesday there's no sensor activity, it knows that typically on Wednesdays there are, so it'll send you a notification saying, hey, normally you have a lot of people moving in and around the building today, but for some reason today there is not. So all of these can be created through the notifications tab. You can see right now there's already a system actions to watch one. This one is useful. It'll do a couple of different things. You can see here if the system is unable to arm, the panel's not communicating, if you lose power, somebody tries to tamper with the device has a low battery, video device not responding, and power is restored to my property. Things like this are all notifications that you may want to be aware of. You can check these off under the system actions to watch, and you can have it set up during a certain time frame as well, and then add yourself in under the address book here to either send you an email, an SMS, text message, or a push notification to your phone if you have that set up. Basically then, if any of these events were to happen, you will automatically receive that notification. You can obviously set up other notifications as well. It's extremely detailed as to what you can do in here, so I'll let you play around with it and kind of figure out how you'd want to use these. But you can pretty much use notifications to tell yourself anything that's happening on the system. Other than that, the only other thing I'll show you is moving between two different enterprise groups. So on the top left-hand side here, you can see we've got Business 1 with a drop-down list. From here, if you have enterprise groups set up, you can select a secondary business. They will have different names. So you can see the current Business 1 that we're in right now is lit up in blue. If I select Business 2, it will switch over to a whole different login. You can see slightly different cameras set up here. Different garage door access, things like that. So it gives you just a bit of a better idea as to how this all works. That's pretty much it for the general overview. I'll be doing a secondary video as well to go over the user access tab because it's a little bit more detailed and it's only for commercial use typically. So look out for that video as well to continue your training. If you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email address is service@pcssecurity.ca, or you can reach us over phone at 519-650-2009. Also check out our website at pcssecurity.ca under the video tutorial tab for any video tutorials that have been added since you're watching this video. Anyways, thank you. Hopefully you got anything that you needed out of this video, and have a great day.